All right, let's talk about food and how we can utilize our moments with food and our relationship with food to help bring more awareness to our mind-body connection and how we can become more embodied. I'm Orlia. I make videos like this talking about like the mind-body connection and like the power of like somatic techniques and just anything embodied connection type stuff. So if that's your thing, be sure to hit the like button with this video if it's valuable to you, and hit the subscribe button. It helps other people be able to find videos like this too. So food. It's not something I always like to think about, my relationship with food, but the reason why it's so important to our bodies and our connection is, well, one, it's literally fueling our bodies. We do have life force energy that runs through and animates the body, but food also plays an important part of that too. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, I've noticed like when certain foods like if it's pictured like the best homemade dish that you've had, and just how much love and light and like energy and nourishment you felt from eating that food, as opposed to going to insert your local convenience store and getting some food there, and it may not have as much life energy in it. It may not be as nourishing or fulfilling. Paying attention to like the foods that we eat can make a really big difference with how much energy we have in our bodies, because that's a really major way that we give ourselves energy, as well as paying attention to what we drink, like whether or not we drink water, juice, soda, the quality, and when we're talking water, the quality of the water, there is, at least for me, there's a difference between like the energy and the nourishment that I get from drinking purified water versus tap water from a sink. And yes, I have drank tap water from a sink. Desperate times. So not only paying attention to like the types of foods that we bring in and the energy in it, but also even bringing attention to, this is number two, but bringing attention to how we eat. Are we sitting there and paying attention to our food and actually savoring the bites and the sips of food? Are we distracted eating while watching something on YouTube? I've been guilty of that. When you eat, like, do you notice the textures of the food? If texture is a big thing for you and you're like, I'm not a texture person, what about the taste? The speed at which you eat. Here in the US, a lot of us in schools, we got used to very short lunches, so we didn't really get a whole lot of time to savor them, at least in K through 12 type stuff. So I got trained to easily be able to eat in like 10 minutes or less, and how much savoring can you get done with, just 10 minutes versus really taking your time to enjoy what you're eating or drinking. Even, hello, even when you're at work. Hi. Bringing more awareness to how we eat can make it even like a meditative kind of experience, And so if you don't pay attention, or you noticed some habits like, hey, I'm not really that present when I eat, that could be an opportunity right there to bring some mindfulness to what you're eating. And I encourage you to notice, if you can, what difference that makes in your energy levels too. You just want all the lovin's today, huh? And the third thing I wanted to talk about is our bodies knowing what kind of foods we need. Cravings, I know, tend to get a bit of a bad rap sometimes with like unhealthy foods, but sometimes your body actually is craving a particular nutrient and it knows what foods have that nutrient in it. And if you're like me, you know, if you're still on a cycle, like you still have menstrual cycles, sometimes that could actually change based on like the cycle, like where you are in the cycle. I know I've noticed like in general, I end up craving more calories when it's close to the phase where you're literally building an organ in your system. You're literally building tissue. That takes a lot of energy. So it makes sense to me that, oh, I might want to eat more food than I usually would during that part of the cycle. Um, I, I've had times where I'm craving protein, so then I start craving fish, salmon, tilapia, things like that. And then other days I might crave chicken. Other days I might crave lots and lots of fruits and vegetables, you know, and sometimes I might crave grains. Your body has its own intelligence and it knows what nutrients it needs. And when we start to attune and notice, like, you know, maybe that craving for protein might be something that my body is like asking for, you know? And for me, I know that it's usually something my body's asking for because I'll feel nourished when I eat it. Like even just having a couple of bites, I can feel the difference. I don't know, you may or may not have that kind of sensitivity, but I imagine that you might feel better or feel some sort of difference if it's something that your body's really craving. It's more of a nourishing kind of fulfillment kind of thing. And as you start to really pay attention and tune in to like what your body might be asking for in terms of like nutrients, you might be able to even get to sense how much of that food you need. Like being able to tell like if you're starting to feel full. Like sometimes I only need a couple bites of fish. I don't need like the whole partial fillet of it. And then sometimes, like when it comes to like say vegetables, for example, like broccoli, sometimes I end up craving like a whole lot of broccoli. And broccoli has a lot of like antioxidants and nutrients in it that not only help like from a fiber standpoint, but they also have some detox properties too. You know, they have sulforaphane in it, which is like a really potent like detoxification thing. You know, then there's like your vitamins and things like that. So even if we don't know, I guess the point I'm making is even if we don't know exactly what we need, our bodies sometimes do. Well, they always do. And sometimes they're able to communicate that with us. So I invite you to tune in to your body when it comes to time to eat. Pay attention to your relationship with food. Pay attention to how much presence you bring into your cooking, if you cook, or just your eating in general. And I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, so feel free to leave a comment below. And I will see you guys in another video.